So second chapter, that is share and share capital. Quite a lengthy chapter. I think it's around 100 pages in your module, so it is going to be a lengthy one. So let us understand the concepts clearly and then let us move on. So the second chapter is share and share capital. So what are the different types of first of all, what is a share? What are the different types of share? How do we issue shares to people? What are the different methods of issuing shares to people? What are the procedures involved to issue shares to public? I mean, when I say it can be to any person, is what we'll be seeing in this particular chapter. So share and share capital of a company. What do you mean by share? Share means share of ownership in the company. So whenever I say I hold 10% of shares in your company, the meaning of it is I own 10% of ownership of that company. So I share 10% of ownership of the company. That is how the word share came into picture. I share 10% of ownership of the company, 15% of ownership of the company. So the share in the ownership of the company, meaning to what part am I the owner in your company? Okay, sir. We know this. And the next topic also you guys know. The next topic is classification of share capital. Sir, what is a share capital classified into? First one is called nominal, authorized, or registered, whatever you call, popularly called as authorized capital. The second one is called issued capital. The third one is called subscribed capital. The fourth one is called called up capital. The fifth one is called paid up capital. All of you know this: authorized, issued, subscribed, call up, paid up. All of you know this, or you guys don't know? Is it a new term you're looking into? All known terms. Yes, nothing new. Correct? So, if I have to explain it in a very brief manner, how can I explain? Authorized capital is always the maximum capital. Authorized is always the maximum capital. Now assume in a company the maximum capital was 1 lakh shares into 10 rupees each. This was a maximum a company can any time raise from the members of the company. The maximum cap. Now, in that maximum amount, right now, how much do you want? Assume the company wanted 80,000 shares worth of money. That is how much the company wanted. 8 lakh worth of money. Now, out of the maximum cap, how much the company wants now is called issued capital. Okay, out of maximum 1 lakh shares, the company right now to run its business, it wants 80,000. So, it issued 80,000 shares to public. Now, Will public take all the shares or it is discretion? Now assume it is the public took only 78,000 shares. Okay, for now, see, there is minimum subscription and all. Even I know that, but for our ease of calculation, let us take easy numbers so that we can calculate easily. Out of the number of shares issued, the people wanted only 70,000 shares. Company issued 80,000, but people wanted only 70,000. The rest 10,000 they did not file an application. It is members, I mean shareholders' discretion. If they want, they can take that 80,000 also. Let us assume, yeah. Now, whatever the public have subscribed to is called subscribed capital. Whatever is the shares they wanted is called subscribed capital. Now, people have agreed that we will take 70,000 shares of rupees 10 each. Now the question, how much money do you want now? How much money does the company want? Does it want the entire 10 rupees or does it want only 5 rupees now, and after 3-4 months it will want some other money? If you remember in your PU, you would have done application money, allotment money, first call, second call. It is company's discretion. If it wants, it can take the entire 10 rupees or it can take in installments. Now assume, let us, to understand the concept better, the company first wanted, for all 70,000 shares, it wanted 5 rupees immediately. Whatever the money the company has asked for is called up capital. If the shareholders have paid whatever has been called by the company, that becomes paid up capital. Understood? Sir, what if out of 5 rupees, people paid only 4 rupees? People paid only 4 rupees. Then go back to your PU. That 1 rupee will be called as call in arrears. I hope you remember seeing this term. Whatever has been called by company and you do not pay, it is called as called in arrears. Yes? Remember? Haan. Yes? Haan. So this is your entire classification of capital, which you knew, but for more understanding, there can be even one person who did not know the concept. For you, yes, this is how the classification of capital is based on. Why I tell all this is, at times, you will know that yes, this is issued, this is subscribed. If at all I ask you to tell what it is, we just know it theoretically. It comes here. But what is the meaning? We might not know. I'll not tell you guys didn't know. There are chances you might not know what exactly it means. So in such cases, it will help you a lot. Clear? Yes? Now, there can be a question. The company in its letterhead or any document of the company, let it be invoice, bill head, document, notice, any document of the company, if at all the company has printed, authorized capital, then the company should mandatorily print subscribed and paid up capital. It has to be printed in a equally prominent place. See, whenever you're showing your capital as more, because authorized is the maximum capital, but what shareholders have contributed the actual amount is subscribed and paid up. The moment you print authorized in your notices, letterheads, or any document, it shows a wrong message to the creditors or outsiders. They think, oh, this company's capital is so huge. See, the authorized capital can be 10 crore. Your subscribed capital can be 1 lakh. Forget about 1 lakh. Your subscribed capital can be even 10,000. Now you imagine, if at all you see a document whose authorized capital is 10 crore, you imagine what will be the feeling towards that company you will have. You will feel, oh, this is a great company, big company. But the paid up capital will be only 10,000. Don't you think the company can cheat by just putting authorized capital in such documents? That is why law says if you put authorized capital in your document, then in a prominent, conspicuous way, in a place where people can see, you also have to compulsorily print subscribed and paid up capital. Yes, you can write it as a note. Understood? Okay. Now, that was classification of share capital. The next one is types of share capital. From age old, you are reading this, types of share capital. What are the types of share capital? The first one is preference. The second one is equity. Preference and equity. Yeah. Under equity we will see later. Now, what is preference capital? What do you mean by preference capital? What do you exactly mean by preference share? Yesterday when I told you, when I was explaining you the Salomon versus Salomon case, I made a point. What do you mean by this word preference? Always remember, assume when the profit of the company for a year 2021 was 1 lakh. There are two types of shares in the company. One is preference share, the other one is equity share. Now, the question is, whom does this 1 lakh belong to? The law says always the first priority should be given to preference shares. After giving their dividend, if still something is remaining, that belongs to equity shares. So the first preference in profit should always be given to preference share. If something is still remaining, that should be given to equity shares. The priority is called as preference. I prefer you first over the equity share. That is the reason it is called preference share. And yesterday when we did Salomon, I told you one more thing. Now imagine there is 1 lakh remaining in the company. The company is going for winding up. Now this 1 lakh belongs to whom? Preference share or equity share? The answer is again the same. When during the time of winding up, at the time of repayment, if at all there is a limited amount available to the company, the first preference should be given to preference shareholder. If you still have money left, that will go to equity shareholder. If there is no money left, equity shareholder will not get anything. So what exactly do you mean by preference shareholder? Preference shareholder means a person who has preference over equity shareholder in the time of paying the profits or at the time of winding up. Understood? Not understood. Why it is called preference share? Understood? Not understood. Simple ones. Okay. Now, under preference, there are types of preference share. What do I mean by these types of preference share? We'll see this and let us wind it up for the day. Hardly 5 minutes. We'll be in time. Now, types of preference share. The first type is called as cumulative preference share. Now, what do you mean by cumulative preference share? Assume in the year 2021, the company had no profits. Yes, but as per that preference share, every year that particular preference share should get 50,000 as their dividend. That is mandatory. That was the term in which it was issued. If at all it was called as cumulative preference share, assume in the year 2021 they had no profits. Then in the year 21-22, this will be added to whatever dividend should be paid in 21-22, meaning 50,000 plus whatever should be paid in that year gets added. So that preference share where the dividend, if not paid in any year, keeps adding to the next year is called as cumulative preference share. Now, sir, what if this 2021 profits were not there, this dividend was not paid? And what if it does not carry forward? What happens? If such thing does not carry forward to the next year, if not paid this year, and if it also does not carry forward to the next year, such shares are called as non-cumulative shares. Cumulative, it adds on to the next year if not paid this year. Non-cumulative, if not paid this year, your right ends here. It does not carry forward. Understood? Not understood? Sir, so there will be only one type adopted by the company. Yeah, it will be either you will go with cumulative or you will go with non-cumulative. Yes. Yeah, okay. Next one. At times, there is certain preference share which will be. Now, preference shares can be issued of two types. First one is called as convertible preference share. The second one is called non-convertible preference share. What do you mean by convertible and non-convertible preference share? Very simple. The company will take money from you today and it will tell after 10 years the preference shares will be converted to equity shares of the company. So after a certain period of time, preference shares gets converted to equity shares of the company is called as convertible shares. What do you mean by non-convertible shares? Preference shares does not get converted into equity shares of the company. As simple as that. When it is not converted, meaning you have to repay them. It becomes redeemable. That we will see in tomorrow's class. This understood? All simple terminologies only before getting into the major aspect. All something which you have known and seen. Yes? Correct. So let us stop here. Non-convertible meaning a preference share after certain period of time, it will not be converted into equity share. It remains preference. Yes. So let us stop here.